something that niche.
Hey, Mandy.
Right, so, yeah, that's the other part.
It would be water distribution.
5 years later.
It's not on my list.
Right.
Thank you.
So not now, because they're married last soon. Oh, yeah. But still, it's not something that's
I moved it, Matt, go sit in the closet.
Reset the clock.
You said go sit in the car.
They had one like that downstairs, and it was fast, so I got up there the other day. That was 5 minutes.
When was
Well, not really. Nothing about that.
What did you see about
This evening, actually. That's probably it. No. Have you seen it? Oh, that's my sister. It's so frustrating. But nobody's used my card, or tried to use it, no, so I think it's lost. It's not stolen. So maybe it'll turn on.
I did not.
Well, that's fine. We'll have it there for like 2 days. I figured out what we're I've been.
I beat.
Went to get my driver's license today, a new one, and they're like, we need a photo ID.
They do.
That's why I can't. So then I had to get like 5 different yearbook.
Gallon and a half pound on the house.
That's what I think. Is that what you get on you? Is that what you get on you?
Yeah, cool. I make sure everything gets covered.
I told her the other day, I'll call Leonard, it's okay, I got a rope around my neck.
Everybody wants to get anything.
We have fun.
Oh, God. No fault.
Wasn't you?
We put that up.
We'll call tonight's meeting to order. I want to point out we have a revised agenda. We have the addition in the formal contracts for a real estate contract. So under formal action. So that's the change in tonight's agenda. Mandy, would you take a roll call, please?
Charlene Abel, Bob Richard,
Here.
Kent Miller,
Here.
Rick Brown,
Yep.
Tony Gingler.
He's here, so.
Get outside.
Matt Audie,
Here.
Lloyd Luttrell,
Present.
Robert Peterson.
Here.
Thank you. If you'll stand with me for the invocation of pledge of allegiance. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the wonderful grain harvest that we're bringing into the elevators at this time. It will greatly help our community and our farmers. And thank you for the moisture and the beautiful wheat crop that has already come up out in our areas. Be with us tonight as we discuss the business of our city, the important things that keeps our city going together. And be with our servicemen as they protect us here in the States and around the world, and our law enforcement and those who serve us 24/7. In your name we pray, amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No, thank you.
I'm disappointed you didn't put anything in that prayer about the Royals being
I just didn't want to overdo it. I'm thankful for the harvest. You know, yeah, go Royals. Okay.
I have a question for our police chief. On those little scooters, Dave, that kids ride up and down the street, what is the law regarding those?
There is no law for 49cc and under.
So it doesn't matter how old they are. Do they take any training to ride those? Or?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, I just had somebody that was concerned about safety.
Right, that's been an issue in front of the city council on more than one occasion. It's never been addressed as far as the ATV ordinance goes. However, the 49cc little pocket rockets is what we call them, that the kids ride around on, those little motorized scooters, that's always been beneath state law.
Okay, so you don't think we need to do any?
I voted to outlaw them years ago when they first hit the streets, but nobody wanted to do anything about it.
The other thing, Lynn, I see you got something in about the railroad. Is there any, maybe you're gonna report on that?
Yeah.
But I get questioned about that all the time, and I
Sure.
keep telling them, well,
All
we're
right,
pushing.
okay, jumping ahead a little bit here, they're gonna come and work on it Friday.
Okay.
There won't be the full fix, so they're gonna try their so-called temporary fix, and then do the full fix later on, but just try to smooth it out here a little bit. They requested help from us on Friday, to have our crews come in and help them. At least, it should just take one day, I don't know if it'll take more than that, but.
Well, I'd like to see us update that in the paper at times, because I do get questions.
Right,
where I go.
yeah, that's been ongoing, and their crew that actually uplifts their tracks and do that sort of work is not close to us, but they're coming down the line as they go. They've been going east to west, so they don't know when exactly they're gonna be here, so they're gonna try to do this temporary while they come down the line our way, so.
But how many times have we heard this temporary?
A lot of times, but yeah, but they did call today actually and said they would be here on Friday, and they requested our help, so. So they, at first it said they would do that, then they said they were not, because they had the federal money coming through the state secure, and now they're back to that. So I don't know what's slowed them down on the other, I mean, so they just called today and said, can you help us on Friday? I said, yes. So that's where we're at on that.
I personally feel that we're gonna reach a point where we stop taking excuses. There's people getting sick of it, myself included, so.
Oh, yeah.
I know it's not your fault, that's all I got.
Okay, thanks, Bob. Bob?
Well, he's talked about Royals. I think the Chiefs done pretty good last weekend. We do have a professional football team in Kansas.
K-State did okay too.
Yeah.
To Missouri.
Oh, for what it's worth, the Bears didn't.
Dallas did though.
Well,
So we got that.
All right, here we go.
The same guy that's doing the railroads doesn't have the rock crusher. Just thought.
Have it out this weekend.
Oh, it's just gonna be.
I couldn't resist.
Yeah, same guy.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna crush rock and you're gonna put it on the railroad. You're right.
Got us off this board. Katie, do you have anything at this time?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. Glenn, back to you.
Yeah, well, got plenty of stuff, actually. Like I said, we're just talking about the railroad. Since you brought the rock crusher, he's gonna actually start tomorrow. He's got his man equipment, that one part he was waiting for because of the mud and things he's got to deal with out there. Came in this week, so he's ready to start crushing tomorrow. I don't think it's taking very long to actually get in there and crush what he's gonna do and get out of there, so. Anyway, so that's been a long time coming on that too, and that's had a lot to do with the weather and the delays he's had out in Hays, I guess. Anyway, also a comprehensive plan, we got scheduled for this Thursday. It'll take place right here as far as I know, and they're gonna go over actually the first draft. Hannah Keelan, the consultant, will be here to discuss that with our planning commission, and once that gets underway, hopefully we can get the draft to the council coming up here pretty soon. Codification, we did have something, Kate, I don't know if you want to address it. I know you've been talking with Nicole at the league
yeah.
at all. You might want to update a little bit on that, because I know we haven't talked about the codification for a while, but I know they're promising sometime in November.
Yes, we are oh so close.
Okay,
Probably
all right.
in the next couple of weeks, we'll have the final draft.
We'll have the codification.
Yes.
And then we can move forward on some of the things we talked about as far as code enforcement, as far as parking cars and all that kind of good stuff, because that'll finally be back officially in our code, so we can attack those from that angle on there. You may have noticed the sign out in front, there was damage or whatever here recently. The Memorial came and got that, and they're gonna repair that and bring that back. We're still cleaning up a lot of storm damage still from the hailstorms and we've had and other things that are going on. So there's the parks or some of our buildings. We have bids out for roofs and all that kind of good stuff still out there. I do have a first draft of the electric rate study, but I didn't want to present that tonight since I haven't been able to fully look through it, but we'll do that on November 4th. We'll get a first draft of the council about that. We've got about 3 different options for you to look at as far as how you want to move forward. A lot of that will depend on how we want to approach, different projects that we've got coming forward, whether it's gas pipeline or some of the projects that Ronnie's talked about as far as the distribution system and other things like that. So we'll throw that at you at the next meeting. Like I said, we did already address the railroad crossing on that. The geometric improvement grant out here at K-14, we did get a contract order Simmons Appraisal, so they'll appraise the easements and that property we're talking about there. And once they're done with that, we'll then make offers to the landowner so we can move forward on that whole thing. Outside of that, you probably have noticed that we did update our agenda for tonight, and that's part of a project the Ready Committee has been working on, negotiating with a developer who wants to buy some land out here on the highway and basically build a Dollar General store, which we'll talk about here a little bit later on. So that's what's happening on that, which throughout that negotiation, that seemed to spark a rumor that we were actually talking with Walmart or somebody like that. I can tell people that's not true. That's Dollar General. But we've kind of heard that for the past month or so. People call here. No, it isn't. It's Dollar General. If we approve this contract, they will move across the street from their current location to our side of the road over there. And their plan is to have a new building by next year. So we'll have a new Subway, Casey's East, and a new Dollar General. All
New
three.
Sonic, you mean?
I'm sorry, Sonic, Casey's, and Dollar General all by next. All 3 of those should be by this time next year or before. Some of those are already. Casey started this week actually. So anyway, that's what we got going on that I can think of right now.
That's great for the city to see that going on. I had a question. Do they fall in the revitalization?
The neighborhood revitalization, I think they can apply for some, I'm not sure how they would, if it's new construction, I'm sure like the Dollar General could. The rest of them that are building new, I don't know how that
Well,
works.
anyway, it speaks well for Beloit to see all this stuff going on.
Yeah, our city's growing, not by leaps and bounds,
Shows
but yeah, we aren't going backward, and, like so many other cities are, losing population, we're seeing, slow and steady growth in Mitchell County and Beloit over the past few years, and that's, I think we're continuing with that, so.
We must be doing something right.
We're doing something, yeah, so.
Well, those businesses wouldn't want to upgrade their facilities if they want to see something.
Now, they see a market here, and they want to be in the market, so we're attractive in some respects. That's good.
That's great.
Anyway, all right.
Thank you, Glenn. Next item is public comment. We have no one signed up throughout the city. This item on the agenda is the consent agenda and the council meeting minutes from October 7th.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the consent agenda in its entirety.
Just a second, before you get going. We need to make one change in your motion. We need to add, Lynn Miller was inadvertently left off of MD as a department. So if you could work that in there, we're good to go.
Mr. Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the consent agenda in its entirety with the addition of Glenn Miller attending
The meeting.
the meeting. Yes.
Okay. It's been moved by Councilman Audi that we approve the consent agenda and the minutes with the addition of adding Lynn Miller as attending under the department. Second by Councilman Miller. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Randy, take a roll call vote, please.
Brown,
Yep.
Gingler,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Audi,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Latrell,
Yes.
Richard.
Yes.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda this evening is under ordinances. It's ordinance 2158, the tree board. They gave a presentation at the last meeting in the work session on this ordinance. Is there questions for staff?
I move we accept the ordinance 2158.
It's been moved by Councilman Richards that we accept ordinance 2158. It's been seconded by Councilman Brown. Is there any further discussion? If there's no further discussion, Andy, would you take a roll call vote on the ordinance, please?
Latrell,
Yes.
Richard,
Yes.
Gingler,
Yes.
Peterson,
Yes.
Audi,
Yes.
Brown,
Yep.
Miller,
Yes.
Thank you. We'll move on to the agenda. We have no resolutions this evening. Next item on the formal actions would be a domestic violence proclamation. I think we have a young lady here that wants to address the council. And I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
My name's Tanya Jordan.
Tanya Jordan.
I am from the Domestic Violence Association of Central Kansas, located in the Concordia office. We provide services and support to survivors within Mitchell County. I'm honored to be here today in order to read the Domestic Violence Awareness Proclamation. Whereas 1 in 4 women will experience domestic violence during her lifetime. Whereas approximately 15.5 million children are exposed to domestic violence every year. Whereas when a family member is abused, it can have long-term damaging effects on the victim that also leave a mark on family, friends, and the community at large. Whereas families are indispensable to a stable society, and they should be a place of support to instill responsibility and values in the next generation. Whereas domestic violence is widespread and it is devastating to society as a whole, but particularly women and children. Whereas violence against women and children is a prevalent social ill due to historical imbalance of power in gender and race, or in gender and age, excuse me. Whereas the problem of domestic violence is not confined to any group or groups of people, but crosses all economic, racial, gender, educational, religious, and societal barriers. Whereas the crime of domestic violence violates an individual's privacy, dignity, security, and humanity due to the systematic use of physical, emotional, sexual, psychological, and economic control and/or abuse. Whereas victims should have help to find the compassion, comfort, and healing they need, and domestic abusers should be punished to the full extent of the law. Whereas local programs, state coalitions, national organizations, and other agencies nationwide are committed to increasing public awareness of domestic violence and its prevalence, and to eliminating it through prevention and education. Whereas the United States President and Congress, as well as other federal agencies, have expressed a commitment to eliminating domestic violence both nationally and internationally. Therefore, in recognition of the important work done by domestic violence programs and victim service providers, I, Tanya Jordan, do by here proclaim the month of October 2014 as Domestic Violence Awareness.
Thank you. Very important task.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in this evening.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the proclamation.
Second.
So,
Been moved and second that we approve the proclamation. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries unanimously. Again, thank you for coming out this evening. Next item on the agenda is the industrial revenue, excuse me, RBs. The industrial revenue bonds notice for AGCO. And these are being, this is a notice from Mitchell County. They intend to issue industrial revenue bonds for AGCO sunflower manufacturers. So this is a notice to the city.
So why do we vote on it?
Yeah, it should have been done when they actually issued their IRBs recently for AGCO sunflower manufacturing. Oversight on their part, it's just a notice to us.
So we're just kind of playing catch up.
Yeah, they're required to do that by law, and so they're just doing it now because it was an oversight on their bond council or whatever at that time.
I entertain a motion that we approve the industrial revenue bonds for AGCO.
I so move.
The move by Councilman Peterson to approve the industrial revenue bonds for AGCO. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Trill. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the water pipe bid. For municipal supply in the amount of $15,120. This is coming out of the CIP fund. Any questions?
I'll just move that we approve the bid as recommended for the municipal supply incorporated, $15,120.
Been moved by Councilman Lottie that we accept the bid for municipal supply in the amount of $15,120. Do I have a second? Second by Councilman Miller. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda this evening is a bid for electrical materials from Stanton Wholesale, and for the amount of $18,585. Any questions for staff? Entertain a motion to approve.
I so move.
Been moved by Councilman Latrell. I'm looking for a second. Second by Councilman Brown. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is a turbocharger estimate.
About a transformer, dude. You got two different things?
No, it's in there. You're on D, electric material bid
Electric
now.
material bid, yeah.
Just transformer.
Yeah.
Was that two separate items?
Yes.
Just did the water pipe.
Yeah, you just did the water pipe bid, correct? Yeah.
No, we just did the electric material item. Or we did it for just one.
We did for the 18,585.
And also,
What else you have?
transformer,
Transformer bid.
9760.
Okay, for 9760 from Chris Davis. For 9760. Had a motion from Councilman Deamer that we approve. Got a second by Councilman Nani. Any discussion? Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, the next item on the agenda is to repair a turbocharger at the power plant in the amount of $10,700. Any questions?
My question is, are they the only game in town? Is it separated on any bids?
Well, I think it's in there, I read a deal, I thought that said that there's another company that does this, that we had them do one in the past, and then we had to take it to this company to get it completed correctly, so we didn't even bid it to them because of the work that they performed the last time. To my understanding, that's what that was. So that's kind of the only thing.
I move that we approve the estimate from GE Oil and Gas, $10,700.
Moved by Councilman Miller that we approve from GE Oil and Gas to repair the turbo for $10,700. It was seconded by Councilman Brown. Is there any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the real estate contract that was handed out this evening. And this is the property in the North Campus for the potential location for new Dollar General. I think the Ready Committee visited with this group of people a few times to iron things out.
Is it just lot one?
Yeah.
Yes, it's just that
It's
one
lot,
lot.
it's lot 2,
It's
actually.
lot, yeah, it's the one that.
Lot 2, yes, I'm
Right, lot one will be the western one.
It's the smaller one.
I didn't read it. At what point do we get the full 80,000?
Closing.
Yeah, okay.
Well, this should help quite a bit towards our streets.
Yeah, we'll go into the CIP fund, so it could be used for streets or anything of that nature that we're doing up there.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the sales of lot 2, as described in the contract to this whole thing.
Okay.
Second.
Motion's been made by Councilman Audi that we approve the contract for the sale of the real estate, per the real estate contract to the holding company, lot 2. It was seconded by Councilman Miller. Is there any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is a closed session. I'd like to have a governing body, City Attorney Cheney and Administrator Ross for, how long, maybe 10 minutes, 15? For 10 minutes. It's been moved by Councilman Miller that we go into a closed session for 10 minutes with the governing body, City Attorney Cheney, Administrator Robin, second by Councilman Brown. Any further discussion? No further discussion. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carries. We'll go in for 10 minutes.
Yeah, don't ask about this one. Not good at all.
Left-handed? No, I don't think so. Right, yeah, see